Hello and welcome to presentation 3 of our boat safety training. This time we're going to talk a little bit about trailering. So I just want to talk a little bit about hooking up and give you some tips. Talk about what you need to be legal to go trailing down the road and then driving it down the road. So a couple of things that you need to be aware of if you aren't already. There are 2 common sizes of ball hitch that you're going to find on a trailer around here. There's a 1 7/8 inch ball hitch and a 2-inch ball hitch. There are bigger ones, but you don't run into them very often. Now, of course, you need to make sure you know the correct size. Obviously, a 2-inch trailer will fit over a 1 7/8 inch ball, but it won't fit very tightly. Most commonly for boat trailers, it's going to be a 2-inch ball, but you need to always make sure you've got the right size. Now, one of the tips that I always have for people to help them when they're trying to hook up a trailer is to not try and drop the trailer straight down onto the ball when you're hitching up. There's a little clasper underneath the hitch that clasps around the bottom of the ball and holds the trailer to the ball. And sometimes when you try and drop it straight down, that clasper can get pinned and it won't properly seat. So I suggest that you drop the trailer down when it's about halfway on the ball and then let it slide forward, and that allows that clasper to slide on up in the proper position. This is what I mean by the clasper under the hitch. And you can kind of picture how this thing is going to grab hold of the ball hitch. So if you drop it straight down, sometimes that can get pinched and it won't properly deploy. Now here we look at the hitch, and as we go underneath, you can see the clasper that I'm talking about. It's right there, it's hanging down. And you can imagine how this can get pushed up and get pinched if you're not careful. Okay, so now when you're hooking up to the truck, make sure that you close the latch and make sure you always have a safety locking pin so the latch can't pop up. You take the safety chains, and when you attach them to the truck, make sure you cross them underneath. That makes a little basket, and so if the worst happened and the trailer popped off the ball, the idea is that those cross chains would actually hold the hitch of the trailer up off the ground. And of course, plug in the trailer lights. Now I'm going to show you how I hook up my boat. As I mentioned, I lower the hitch so it's at about halfway on the ball, and then I slide it forward. And this helps to avoid pinching the clasper. On this particular trailer, you've got to give it a little help. Then we put the latch down and insert the safety pin. Next, go the safety chains. And as I attach them to the vehicle, you'll notice how they are crossed to form a basket underneath. Finally, we attach the trailer lights, and in this example I forgot to bring the right adapter, but of course in real life you would have the right adapter and you would plug in the trailer lights. Now to unhook, of course, we just reverse the process. So we take the safety chains off, then we take the safety pin out, undo the latch, and crank up the trailer to take it off the ball hitch. Sometimes it might get a little hung up, so you can give it a little pop on the bumper to help break it loose. Just like that. Okay, now you need to make sure that the boat is secured to the trailer. You should have something called a secondary bow chain that is attached when the boat is on the trailer. This is a backup, so if the winch strap breaks, the bow of the boat won't start popping up. You should have some straps on the stern to keep the stern end from bouncing. If you have a motor brace, which is also called a motor toter, make sure it's attached to support the weight of the motor. And if there's any gear inside the boat, make sure it's secured, because that stuff will blow out as you go down the road. Okay, so let's talk a little bit now about legal trailering. I mentioned that secondary bow chain. You have to have one of those if you're going to be going down the road. You also must have safety chains to attach to the vehicle. Trailer lights I have a question mark for. I think the law is in Kentucky that if you can see the lights on the vehicle, you don't need lights on the trailer. But it's really always a good idea to just have trailer lights and to have them plugged in. It makes you much more visible, obviously, especially at night. Do you have to have a trailer license? Again, not in Kentucky. You don't have to have a license, but if you think you're going to be going out of state, then you are going to need one. So it might not hurt to get one. Now this is what I was talking about as far as what is a secondary bow chain. You can see where the winch is attached to the bow, which we use to pull the boat up on the trailer, but then we have a backup chain, or here in this example it's a cable, that will function if the winch fails. That way the boat won't go flying, so the bow won't pop up and get caught in the wind, which is maybe uncommon, but you don't want to take that chance. All right, finally, let's talk a little bit about driving the trailer. Most damage to a boat occurs when it's on the trailer. That's when you're going to wear your boat out. So always go slow and take it easy. Take it easy on that boat and don't beat it up when you're going down the road. Of course, when you're pulling a trailer, you need to make wide turns. You don't want to hit the curb. You don't want to hit something next to the road. So always think about making a nice wide turn so that the trailer doesn't hit anything. Get in the habit of watching your side mirrors. Your side mirrors will be invaluable when you're trailering. And always keep an eye on the trailer in both your rear view mirror and your side mirrors, but especially when you're turning, get in the habit of glancing at that side mirror to make sure that you're not going to hit anything with that trailer. Also, anticipate all that extra weight that you're pulling behind the truck. It's going to make it difficult to accelerate. So if you pull out in front of somebody, you're not going to be able to accelerate as quickly. And it's going to make it difficult to decelerate or stop because you got all that extra weight pushing you. So always keep in mind you've got all that extra weight. Take it slow, take it easy, and be safe. And that's all I have to say about trailering. And thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you later.